Welcome to Pavan's podcast. Today, our guest is Sunny Sekhan. He has been nominated for Willie Ori Community Hero Awards. These awards are for the people who use hockey to make positive impact on the community. Let's welcome him.
Thank you for having me, Pavan.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking the time and sitting with us today. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
How did you feel when you first heard about the nomination that you're being recognized as a community hero?
First was I was surprised. I think everyone that tries to do community work, I think you usually just do it because you feel like you need to and you want to. I was surprised that um, the people that I spend a lot of time with and I work with hold me in enough of a light that they want to put my name forward. And then once you kind of realize it's happening, you're just like very, very humbled because you're doing it for the community. You want to see the community advance, and then to know that they appreciate it enough that they want to see you
As a hero.
recognized. It was very special.
Let's start from the beginning. Why hockey? Why did you start playing hockey?
So, when my Bapuji came to Canada in 1983, and I have no idea why he started liking the Oilers. Like my taya, my chachas, they all played field hockey back before they came over. So we had like this idea, maybe he liked field hockey, maybe that's what got him in. Maybe the Oilers were just so good at the time. Mm-hmm. But I remember being like I was a small kid, and my Bapuji, my BG, they lived with us. So I remember like this is a guy he wore like the big beard, didn't speak any English, and I remember sitting with him, and I remember watching hockey, and then at home, yeah, like and so that was what kind of got me interested, and then I went to school, and all the kids in school were playing hockey, so I wanted to try it, and so that's how it happened.
Yeah, I think because also hockey is a national game in India, not the cricket, because a lot of people don't know. They think cricket is so popular and it's national game, but it's not. Hockey is the national game.
Yeah.
So that's why I think you said 1983, and that was the time when hockey was at its peak.
Yeah, the Oilers they won 5 Stanley Cups in 7 years, like between the 80s and 90s. I was born in 86, so by the time I came, like by the time I was alive, I was 4 years old the last time they won a cup, and you don't remember a lot, but I remember those times. And then again, like it was just I don't have a lot of memories with my Bapuji because he passed away when I was very little, but those were, like I said, it was very special.
Okay, so that's how you started playing. But what inspired you to start giving through hockey?
Yeah, so obviously, like I grew up in a Sikh household. I'm not like super spiritual. I don't go to Gurdwara all the time, but one thing that I always remember and growing up was like the idea of seva and like giving back to the community. You do it as a responsibility, and so for me, that kind of in my background was always one of like the driving forces. It was like I don't on some level I felt like spiritually connected by just doing work. And then honestly it's a bit of a sad story. Like I got into like giving back to community because I had a very young cousin, Gaurav. He passed away when he was like 9 years old, and he got sick. And at the time, I was maybe 18, and I didn't have any money, I didn't have a network, so I just wanted to do something, and I felt like I needed to do something, and so back then I would just grow my hair really long and like literally for a year, and then shave it all off. You raise a few $1,000s, and then it was just that seeing how powerful it could be, like to bring people together, was what kind of got me into it. And the whole time that was happening, I was playing hockey. And so when I stopped playing, I had an opportunity to coach. And then I just started to see all the kids that were struggling with the same thing I struggled with. So, you have a choice. You can sit there and complain about it, or you could try and be part of the solution. So I said, you know what, I'll do my best. And here we are.
We are on the family. I think you have a strong family history of resilience and survival, be it your parents from your mom's side who came here as refugees, and then your dad who came here and he rebuilt his life.
For sure.
Because we all know about the immigrant struggles. Do you think that influenced the work that you do today?
Yeah, I think on some level, for sure. Like resilience, the word you use, like to come here my dad and my thigh came in 1974. There, it wasn't uncommon, but it was harder to get jobs. You couldn't find things that you like something like this at the time. But you adapt, you survive. My mom's side, like, my whole life my community's been very focused on my dad's side, but that story is not new to anyone that we're talking. Like, everybody, we know that we're born of it. And we're very proud of that. My mom, her parents. So my mom was born in Toronto, but her parents escaped Nazi Germany. Like, my grandfather was in a concentration camp, right? So these are people that experienced the harshest of the world, and they found a way to get out and contribute to society and give back. So yeah, I think on some level it's in my DNA to, like, stand up to things that aren't right, and definitely the resiliency is there because of them.
So a lot happened in between, but let's fast forward to the day you gave your father the jersey with 74 written on it. How did that feel? How did he feel?
Yeah, like it's funny. I kind of had my dad is like a lot of dads, where it's like he doesn't want anything. It's about you. But I was just so excited because, I think about my Bapuji, and I think about how proud he would have been to see, like, his grandson in that moment. And then my dad, when they come here, they cut their bugs off. They like, just to try and fit in. And now to see that fitting in is being like they're celebrating Punjabis, they're celebrating South Asians. Exactly. It was awesome. But I remember when I gave it to him, like, he saw the number, and his first reaction was he thought it was Stuart Skinner, because he's also 74. But then when I think it clicked in, like, the look on his face was just awesome. It was
what is 74?
So 74 was the year my dad came to Canada. And then so I put, like, when the Oilers were doing it, I just requested in that first South Asian celebration, if there was an opportunity, I would really like that jersey. And but yeah, so he of course he didn't want to take it. He's like, no, you earned this, you keep it. So now I have this, like I love the Oilers probably too much, and I love hockey, but then now I have this. It's the first time the Oilers ever celebrated South Asian Night. Our team was part of designing that logo, and then now I have, like, my last name on the back with the year he came. So that's something I'll have and treasure forever.
That's something you have earned.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about Punjabi Elite League.
Yeah.
How did it start from the beginning?
So Punjabi Elite League was actually, I was probably actually a little bit immature in how I handled things. So believe it or not, there's Team India, Team Pakistan. They go play in the World Ball Hockey Championships. It's a huge deal, playing like 15,000, 20,000 fans. And Dappy Brar, a good friend of mine, Raj Sahota, Jason Eapen, these guys started this tournament, I want to say in like 2008, called the Indo-Canada Cup. It used to be called Indo-Canada Cup, now called South Asian Canada Cup. This is a tournament held every 2 years in Calgary. And so these teams from all across Canada in an A division, a B division, and a women's division would come and play. And then they would pick the teams to go, the Team India, Team Pakistan, to go play at the Worlds. It had never been held outside of outside of Calgary. And then in 2018, we had an opportunity. So myself, Amrit Guman, the Nerval brothers, Buddy, we put it together. So we spent months canvassing the community, trying to put this thing on, do something to make Edmonton proud. And we did, I thought, a great job. And then when we saw the team that was picked, there was no one really from Edmonton, and we had so many good players. So I was mad, and I let them know I was mad, and I probably said things that weren't so nice. But then again, rather than just like complain about it, I was like, well, here's a solution. So at the time, like their argument was it's hard to identify players across Canada. So I said, well, why don't we create a one-day tournament called Punjabi Elite League, so you can have 132 players in any big city, and the committee can go and watch everyone. So that was like the reason I started it. Was I was like, there's a better way to be like more inclusive of the players. And then we ran that tournament a couple of times, very popular, like lots of fun. And then it became a full-on league last year. So I always have to get a ton of respect to my friends that we had a league in Edmonton for almost 10 years called the PBHL, the Punjabi Ball Hockey League. And it was awesome. And
God folded.
Yeah, like and life is busy. It's hard running a league. That's what we're learning. So last year I actually thought they were playing a prank on me. I remember I was on holidays, and it was April 1st. So I thought April Fools. And like Sunny
You were
Kara,
in Vegas.
Yeah. So Sunny Kara, Arjun Dhaliwal, all these guys that I played with they're all calling me. So I started answering, and they're panicking, and they went to me because I've done the tournaments. I have a history of doing stuff in
Yes.
hockey. And so I just said I would try. And so luckily, because of all the stuff we'd done before, I had a lot of friends. Arjun Atwal stepped in. We did it together. And now we're, 8 teams. We've had kid sessions. We're trying to do a mom session. But yeah, that's the origin story.
How do you think somebody who drops off their kid today is different from your first day when your mom dropped you off for the practice?
For sure, it's just like I think they drop them off with confidence, knowing that they're going to be in a judgment-free zone, and any judgment is going to be based on how they play, not if they're wearing, uh, a pug, if what their last name is, where they came from, and they know that we're here to help them through their journey. Like, um, I think for my mom, that was probably what she thought was happening. But even 30 years ago, my first interaction with hockey wasn't positive, right? Like I sat there and I didn't think a lot about it till later. But I sat there and I'm sitting like, why did I have to prove myself before I even went on the ice? Like why, when they called my legal name, which is Harinder Singh, like why are other kids laughing?
Yeah.
So that you don't have to worry about with us, and that's one of the main missions behind it is we don't want incidents like that to happen anymore. So,
And how has it been? How do you feel about community now taking the ownership and then taking the culture forward since you started in the beginning?
I use the word responsibility a lot. I feel like I've been I'm not going to call it luck because I've worked very hard and I've like been very consistent year after year in all the hockey spaces I am. I recognize that like through the brick tournament, for instance, like that's a platform that, can open a lot of doors. Uh, our ball hockey league has expanded and we're touching so many different lives. I just feel like with that comes responsibility to continue to push it forward. And I feel like we are seeing wins. We're seeing so many more kids playing. We're seeing like the stands are full. We're seeing kids not just thrive in ball hockey, but thrive in ice hockey, and that keeps us going. I've talked before about how things like the Oilers South Asian Nights, the Sherwood Park, those are amazing, and they show the broader community that like, hey, like we also love hockey and we're not so different. But a lot of it for so long has been very symbolic. I now feel like we have a real opportunity to be very like to create structure and like actual tangible, like you can join it, play in it, and then find community in and around game and just continue to advance together.
You talked about Brick. What's the Brick tournament?
So Brick tournament, it's the Brick Invitational Hockey Tournament. It is one of the biggest hockey tournaments in the world. It's for top 9 and 10-year-old hockey players. It's played out of West Edmonton Mall. This is the 36th year of it. It's absolutely insane how big it become. It's the first time these kids will go and play what's like best on best. So these are the best hockey players in that age group from all across North America. And over the years, we've had almost 500 kids that have played in our tournament have gone to the NHL. We've had 7 players that have gone first overall in the NHL draft. So it's like a major platform. And now, when I talk about responsibility, like I'm one of the main executives there. And so now it's like a lot of the work I'm doing now and inclusivity. Now I'm challenging the tournament to be part of the solution. So the tournament is, it's such a big deal that I hope that we always have lineups of parents wanting to get their kids in it. But now we're trying to do things like this year we're launching something called Brick Education, which is building respect, inclusivity, character, and kindness. So we're like going to, again, put structure in place to work with these kids to teach them about, respecting others and respecting people's differences. And because the reality is most of these kids who play hockey, not all will become professional hockey players, but that doesn't mean we can't try to teach them to live
Yes.
a life like a leader. So
You talked about South Asian Night. How did that start?
So the South Asian theme nights have popped up in and around the league for it's been a number of years now. I couldn't even tell you which was the first one. I know the Canucks did it for a long time. San Jose. The Oilers launched it 3 years ago, and I was actually one of the last people to the committee. So it was Jesse and Sonny Nerval, Kenny Sandhu. Those were like the three guys kind of driving it. And I got a call one day saying, "Hey, like we don't really know what we're doing. Like, So I came in to help them, and yeah, it's awesome. Like the Oilers and like the whole team there, like they're very thorough. Like they start so early. They want to make sure they're like trying to really understand. Jesse had this line that like we don't want a field trip. Like we want to feel like this
Yeah,
is for the
part of
community
it.
and to make the community proud. And I think they've done a good job of it. And it's now it's been in the third year, and to walk in and have like Scammy D, Punjabi DJ playing in the bowl is
Yeah.
wild, and to have performers, it's again like I think back to like my bapuji, like in 1983, which is just over 40 years ago. I don't think anyone would have ever imagined that, right?
Yes, yeah, no, for sure, yeah. And it
Yeah,
gives so much confidence to the new players and the new kids who are between the age of 5 to 15, maybe. It gives them so much confidence that they feel like, yes, they belong in that ring too.
100%. It's like
Yes.
if you see it, you can do it,
You
right?
can
Like
do it.
it's and it's a reminder, like um it's not always going to be easy, but like nights like that,
Nothing is
yeah,
easy, yeah. But you get there step by step.
100%.
Yes, yeah. Um, let's go back to the beginning. Why did you think we had the need to start community-based leagues?
Well, like frankly, because if I think we have a need to start community-based leagues, because the conventional models, like you can still go and participate in them, you can still compete, but it gets exhausting going back to the same league and hearing the same kind of racial comments, or it gets tiring having to show up to play, just to play a game, ultimately to play a game that you like or a game that you love, and having to like prove yourself for anything other than sport, right? Like I'm all good with someone, banter on the floor or whatever sport you're playing, like that's part of it. But I don't understand why, again, why people target, who you are, where you're from, what you believe in, as if that has something to do with your on-field performance, right? Like
Yes.
uh, sport is supposed to be one of the best tools in the world to bring people together.
Yeah.
Like even back in like when in throughout history, they would stop wars for the Olympics so that these people could go, and now it's just, I don't want to get into any politics of it, but the world feels very divisive, and I think that's done on purpose. I think people are trying to get people to you know take sides, and I don't like that. I'm like I so that's why we have community leagues. It's bring everyone together. At we don't say pick our league and don't do things. We're usually like a supplement. Most of our players play with us, and they play in the main Edmonton league,
Mhm.
but you come to us just so that you just relax, you have a good game, you don't have to, again, you're not getting into it for someone calling you something they shouldn't. So
You have also spoken about women's accomplishments in the hockey. They should get what they deserve.
for sure.
What are you still working on it, or
Yep, definitely.
yes? What are
It's
you doing in that?
So I'm actually starting this year. So Team India is back. So Carney and Raj, these guys, the Team India program is back to go to Worlds. So I'm actually the vice president for the women's team. So I'll be working with Amrit Guman, and we'll be this fall we'll be launching the ID camps. And we're it's a tough one to say because it makes me sound like maybe I'm being arrogant, but like I was first asked to join to help with the Team India men's program. And I sat there, and it's like I'm sitting there and I'm looking at everybody in there, and you have so many good people here, like, and it's just Amrit on the girls. So I get so tired of that, because it's like we want to push the sport forward in all levels. So I said I'll go help Amrit. Like I volunteered because it needs the same attention. It needs people that will step forward and say like this. We need equal. It needs to be on equal footing. So, and it's not just there. Like at the tournament, the brick tournament, we've advocated for recognition of the girls that have played in the tournament, and um, that was something that Amrit actually pointed out. Back in 2016, when we all went to the Indo Cup in Calgary, I was coaching the Edmonton team, and she was playing on the women's team. And it didn't occur to me till after that I was like, I never saw a girls' game. Like, and it was like they weren't really integrated into the tournament. So when Umrit brought it up, I asked her to join the committee, and we just made sure that it's part of it. Like how can we not? So yeah, no, and I'm happy to help her, and she's got all these amazing ideas, and we'll get there, and it'll be exciting. It'll be the first time we're sending a women's team, so that'll be next summer. Yeah.
And how do you make sure that it keeps evolving in the future?
The main thing is I get out of the way. It's I think a lot of times leadership, in my opinion, I think the best leaders are the ones that are not afraid of the people coming behind them. I want the people coming behind them to be better than me. I want them to push me out. I want them to maybe not push me out completely, but push me on to the next thing. So when I see guys like Arjun Atwal, and I see guys like or women like Amrit, or Josh Singh, like Kani coming up, and these are guys that I have spent a lot of time with, and I know what they're capable of. That's how you continue to go it. And you just, when your time is up, you move on to the next thing. And I had guys ahead of me too. Like, I like Dampy Bras, it had an impact on me. And he's 10 years older than me. And it's just like, if when you find the right type of leader, they're the ones that will develop the next wave, and you know that they're coming. And I have so much confidence in the people that are in and around what I do, that's how it's going to carry forward. And then I have no doubt that they will pay it forward. And then the hope is that it just continues. And that's something that I'm like very proud of too.
I remember reading that you said you want to go out of business.
Yeah.
Why did you say that?
It's like I'm,
Yes, I know, in a positive way.
yeah, like I used to say it, like I say it jokingly, but I guess I do kind of mean it, because you asked me earlier, like, why do these community-based leagues exist? Frankly, they exist because there's a lot of racism, right?
Yeah.
And again, you get tired of having to go, and you're already going to compete, and you're going to go and win, and then you got to, again, I got tired of all of that stuff. So yeah, through the work we do with the Brick Tournament, with this leadership and growing pathways, increasing the number of South Asian kids playing, the hope is that we get to a point where it's very normal to see a Harinder Singh at hockey, and you're not going to laugh at him. And if there comes a point where it's not unusual and people aren't being, then I don't need to exist. Then I don't need to be there, right? And then I'm not going to be upset by that. I'm going to be happy, because that means we've accomplished what we set out to do. But in the meantime, I will be there fighting hard for anybody, because it's, I think it's important, and I love the game. So
Yeah, for sure. So, what would you say to parents today who have young kids and who want to go for hockey, or parents who want their kids to go for hockey, but the kids don't feel like that it's their jam?
I would say give it a try. Like, it's so I talked earlier about how I, sitting there hearing their sing, and then I'm crying, and then in the same moment, I also had a parent come over and like tell me it was going to be okay, and here we are, like 40 years later. And I would say that there's so many ways they can experiment with the game before they have to like dive first in, like all in. Like, we run summer camps where kids can come and try for 2 days. Arjun,
Oh, we didn't know that. Okay.
yeah, like,
Can you tell more about that?
yeah. So the South Asian summits. So that's Dampy, Arjun, myself, and now Gundiman in Winnipeg. So we have there's the first one's going to be in Winnipeg in June. We do one in Edmonton and one in BC, and it's all South Asian coaches. We have male and female coaches. In Edmonton, we had 4 ice sessions, 2 ball hockey sessions, and we had a talk with Sunny Brar and myself on like resilience and understanding that like not just hockey but all sport will challenge you, and it's like that's not always a bad thing. It's good. It's good to have some of these challenges, and so we got to talk to these kids about leadership and how to work through that. And then we had Tony Brar, Myrna Khan, and Manny Sira, who are all South Asian leaders in hockey, come and talk to like the kind of more sort of the parents about like the potential and opportunities career wise in hockey. But that's just like, it's a fairly low cost, all community members, parents are there, easy way to experience the game, and then you can decide from there. And if you don't like, if ice hockey is not what you want to do, like all our kids sessions that we do through the ball hockey, like through Punjabi Elite League, are free. So you need equipment, but if people tell us in advance they need equipment, we'll bring equipment. And then you come out and you experience it again, all with kids that look like you. And, you have, like I said, you have like grandparents sitting in the stands. It's awesome. There's a lot of, what I would tell them is there's a lot of support. There's a lot of pathways. That didn't exist, like even like I said, when I was growing. Yeah.
You talked about that it's very low financial cost. How do you make sure that it's accessible to people from different financial backgrounds?
Yeah, so that's something that we're like that will be an ongoing battle for, like that is one of the singular big challenges with hockey is just expensive. Like
It's a part of your plan.
Yeah, it's like we don't want kids to not play because they can't afford it, right? And so we work with sponsors, we work with we've been blessed. We have good relationships with like very senior hockey companies. Like Arjun last year was a finalist for the same award, and he met a guy named Mac James who has a company. His organization's Next Shift Hockey. So they source equipment and they can provide it. I've worked with Free Play for Kids in Edmonton. I've worked with Sports Central. Just a couple months ago, we were helping a kid get goalie equipment. It'll be an ongoing battle. But again, I go back to like in my own journey, like I didn't have those, like the financial constraints, but the advocacy piece where like someone will help step in from your community and do this wasn't there. But now there is, like, in between like Dampy, who we do all of this work with, he actually won the Willie O'Ree like 7 or 8 years ago. Arjun was a finalist. I'm now a finalist. So you're seeing, more and more representation at like the highest level. And that's what I would say to all the parents is that it's not just me that's going to come and help you. You're going to have those guys too, right?
Yes.
So
but they have to take a step forward.
For sure.
For the kids, do they have to learn the skating first? A lot of people wonder about that.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Like I think everyone will have their own opinion on it. I personally think that if a kid wants to try hockey, give them a stick and a ball. Like there's this expression with soccer, and why is soccer so big? And I remember growing up, people would say, "Oh, all you need, it's because you don't need to speak the language. You just need two kids and a ball." Well, what's the difference with ball hockey? Like you just need a stick and a ball, right? Like I think we tend to overcomplicate things, and that's again the adults involved doing it. Like my son comes and plays ball hockey, and he likes to play with like my buddy Sonny Kara. And Manor, when he's playing, he is not aspiring to be the next Sonny Kara ball hockey player. He's playing ball hockey. He is still aspiring to be the next Connor McDavid. With like all due respect to Sonny, and that's what again. I think that's just it's an easy way to get in. And then again, in our model, if you come out and you're playing ball hockey with us, and we sit and we're like, this person is unbelievable. We can even be like, we can say like, do you want to try? And then try ice hockey, and then through Arjun's like as one stuff, we just built like close the gap. And so that's like the nice thing about all of this is like when you have true collaboration with all these different entities, we're able to just like move kids and families and help them the whole way through.
Yeah, for sure. It's actually soccer is actually giving them a ball and then get two players together. My son, he came to me running one day and he's like, "Mommy, do you know Ronaldo doesn't know English?" So yeah, you don't need to know English and you don't need to fit in to play the game. What was the most rewarding outcome of your journey? I know there has been a lot, but
yeah, like
rewarding.
One that comes to mind, and maybe because it's personal. Like so there's a kid in our program named Maxim Manku, and I knew his dad Baj for I don't know 20, 25 years. His mom Navi I've known since high school, and then so they have a son, and he Navi also volunteers with us at the Brick tournament. And so she was telling us how he has done skating lessons, and he's not like super big into it. He's more of a soccer guy. And we were planning the first South Asian summit that I talked about earlier. And so I was telling her about it and convinced her, just let him try it. Like, let's just see what happens. And then, so he came and, literally within 2 days, he went from being kind of like a little bit shy to where me and Arjun are watching, being like, this guy is very good. And so he's playing, and then this is all within like 18 months, and then uh, probably 6 or 7 months later, we had an opportunity to do the South Asian celebration with the Sherwood Park Crusaders. So then they do a shootout in the intermission. So I call and does he want to do the shootout? Comes to the shootout, scores a goal. Sitting here, I'm like, this is crazy. Like, you're seeing how quickly kids can grow when there's, the support and belief. And then this year at the South Asian celebration, he got to be so before the Oilers game, they pick, it's called the Rona flag skater. So they take the flag and they do the lap and then they stand on the blue line.
And he did that.
And he did that. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, just like, my mind is like blown, and I'm like, at this point I didn't know any of this stuff was going to happen, but I felt like very proud that, someone whose parents I care about and him I care about, just seeing how quickly he can, rise when he's in an environment that like believes in him and supports him. So that's one for sure. And then I and it's going to sound funny because this is now, I'm supposed to be on my journey and I got to try and win. And I promised the guys I'll try and win. But like, I was super proud when Arjun went through this. Like, Arjun Atwal, he's like 10 or 15 years younger than me. I've known his brother, and then seeing him and seeing what he's been able to create with As One. But again, like, I guess all of our styles of leaderships, like, we lean on each other, we support each other. But yeah, like, seeing him go through this, it's like one of the coolest experiences, like, in my hockey career for sure.
That's good. You have also worked with Henry Singer. That's
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so I've been with Henry Singer Fashion Group since 2009, and it's funny. Like, earlier we talked about like the influence of like Seva and like all that, and Singer, I would be giving them a huge disservice if I didn't give them a shout out, because they are mega community supporters. And when you get hired there, you watch this video, and the founder, Henry Singer, had this line that was, he talks about like community involvement and serving the community you live in. But then he says he had the undying belief that even a little guy could make a big difference. So I always say, I'm like, I'm not a little guy, but yeah, one guy can make a big difference. And so it's been great. Like, we get to work with, we're a premium menswear shop. It's not inexpensive stuff, but that's also allowed me to meet and work with so many people that are so quick to want to help this type of stuff. Like, today, I was talking to a client, and he like literally came running into the store because he saw this, and he wanted to like come and say, congratulations in person. So it's been, I also don't think a lot of the stuff would be possible without having worked for there, because it's never like, I never get a no. It's like, hey, I want to do this tournament. And they're like, okay, yeah, like, what do we need? Like, our very first ever Punjabi Elite League tournament, the trophy was called the Henry Singer Cup, because I couldn't find someone to sponsor it. So our owners were like, we'll buy the trophy. It's all good. And so that whole, it's like hand in hand with me on the whole journey.
So you said that you have seen players turn into coaches and then coaches turning into directors. So you have seen a lot. Your journey has been long, but do you want to go further ahead? And what's your ultimate goal in this?
Yeah, honestly, I want to just see it continue to grow. Like, if you asked Arjun or Amrit, they always get mad because I don't generally do this kind of thing. I always tell them I'm just a guy. I just want my end goal in it is, I want to see my son, I want to see my nephews, I want to see my nieces. I want them to play hockey as long as they want, and I want them to leave because they're done with it. I don't want them to leave because someone called them something that we have to explain and say that that's that person. Anymore. Beyond that, I want to see, like, I talk about the same few people all the time because I do the most with them, but I want to see Arjun and Amrit and Josh and Canny. I want to see these. I want to see what they're going to do. I want to see how like they have skills that I don't even know how to use, like ChatGPT stuff. I'm old school, and but I think all of our values are very aligned, and so I think with what they're learning and what they're able to do from a tech and just a modern approach, that's like what excites me. And yeah, my end goal would be just being around to support them as they start to now create their own change. And yeah,
Yeah, and I think each person brings their own skills and wisdom to it.
100%.